What is going on, my Walking Dead fans, my walkers, my survivalists? It's time to talk more The Walking Dead. But I wanted to do this for The Walking Dead Amino. So if you don't know what The Walking Dead Amino is, it is basically an app where just all Walking Dead fans go to. It's like Facebook. It's more like Instagram, where you just go and you discuss The Walking Dead, the episodes, the comic. You put questions up there. I mean, The Walking Dead Amino is awesome. It's very awesome, and there's definitely a lot of other Aminos like TV and movies and anime and music. But The Walking Dead Amino is definitely for you guys who love The Walking Dead. So I want to give a shout out to all the people from The Walking Dead Amino. I'm glad to be part of the community. Glad to be part of the community. Not gonna go in like Rick and go all crazy and take over. No, I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. But before I do that, I want to basically. There's a question of why do I like The Walking Dead and how I got into it, and I want to present this to everybody else as well. If you have any I'm interested to see what you guys think too. Why did you get into The Walking Dead, and how did you get into it, and why do you love it so much? But let me tell you my story. So my story of The Walking Dead was my uncle. He had a magazine. He had a comic. He had one of the issues of a comic when I believe it was the governor, when the governor in prison and all that. So I remember going, and they live in Colorado. So I went to Colorado, and this was a while back ago. So around that time when it was the governor's arc, and Rick was barely settling into the prison, and this is the comic book. So I went to Colorado, and I stayed down there for a couple of weeks, and it was right there, and I needed reading materials so I could take a poo. I like to read while I take a poo. So I saw The Walking Dead, and I said, And my uncle is like one of the biggest nerds. He's an anime fan. He loves comic books. I mean, he loves it all. I mean, I got into everything because of him. So, thank you. So I picked it up. I took flipped through it, and I said, it wasn't too bad. It was actually pretty cool, but it's only one little issue, so I didn't really think anything of it. And then I started hearing, oh, they were going to make the show The Walking Dead, or it's coming out, this and that. So I was like, The Walking Dead, that sounds very familiar. And I said, you know what? That's the comic my uncle had that I read at Colorado. So interested in to see what the hell this was all about. I did check out the first season of The Walking Dead, and boy, I got hooked like right away. So I really got into it because of the television show first. So I watched the first episode, and I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. It's great. And then even I knew at that particular moment that when they introduced Daryl in that first season, I was like, this guy's a badass. This guy, I think everybody's assumed, like, said that. They said, this guy, first of all, I knew him from Boondock Saints. I was like, that is Norman Reedus. That, what? He's in The Walking Dead? That's badass. And he was badass. And then I got to know everybody else, and I really did like Shane, and I really liked Rick, and I really liked Glenn. Glenn was one of my favorites right from the get-go because of him saving Rick. And I did like Rick as well, but I think I liked Glenn a little bit more, and a lot of the characters I got to know, and I really was hooked. So I was watching season by season of The Walking Dead, of course, and then I finally got into the Walking Dead comics, and I read from issue 1 to the present chapter, or whatever it was at that time, on YouTube. And then I started just buying them. I would show you, but there's actually underneath my computer, it holds it up. I would show you my hardcover volume Walking Dead comics. I still need a couple of more to have the collection set, but yeah, I mean, I really just started reading the comics after, because I wanted more. I wanted more Walking Dead, and I gotta say, the comics are just so much superior than the television show. I mean, that doesn't say the television show isn't good. It's very good. I mean, I really do enjoy the Walking Dead television show, but I think the comics is just in another league of its own, and it really just builds up the suspense and the consequences. And what Robert Kirkman is doing with the comic book, he's doing everything right. So, especially right now that what's going on, I didn't know where he was going to take it after the whole arc with Negan, but he took it somewhere very interesting, and I'm very excited to see where else we're going to go, especially with maybe an upcoming war. it's gonna be an upcoming war. So I mean, but over the years too, I mean, I really still like Glenn, and I really liked Shane, but I think I really started to appreciate more of Rick, and I think I noticed that I liked Michonne more in the television show. So, and then of course you had Daryl in the television show. I really loved what they did in the television show for Carol, other than the comics. I mean, a lot of good things and bad things back and forth for the comics and the television show. But overall, I am a huge Walking Dead fan. I can't get enough of it. I don't. This is how big of a Walking Dead fan I am. I don't read comic books. I try to get into comic books. I don't read graphic novels. I have a few graphic novels that I like, but I just cannot get into it. I can't just go through a comic. It doesn't help. I can't do it. I need something else. I can go through a manga, but I can't go through a comic. This is how big a Walking Dead fan I am. I got almost all the volumes of the comic books, and that's why I'm a big Walking Dead fan, because the comic book is just, it speaks to me, and I could just read it all day, all the time. So, yeah, the one series that really got me, that I could tolerate with comic wise, is The Walking Dead. Tolerate, I mean, I love the comics, so it's definitely The Walking Dead is very special to me. It's one of the best franchise of all time. I mean, it's up there. It's a franchise, man. You got games, you got freaking not movies yet, but you got television, comics, you got shirts. The pop culture popularity and what it's done is unbelievable. But overall, man, that's how I got into The Walking Dead. That's why I love The Walking Dead. I mean, I love The Walking Dead. What can I say? I do reviews for The Walking Dead. I even watched Fear the Walking Dead. Even though I didn't really necessarily like Fear the Walking Dead, I still have high hopes for season 2. Would I say this is the best zombie thing I've ever seen? Probably not, but it's one of the best. It's one of the best long series. It's definitely one of the best comic books I've ever seen. But when it comes to media like television or film, you got to go like maybe 28 days later, or is it 28 weeks later? Even I watched Dawn of the Dead the other day, the remake, and actually, that's actually pretty. I really did enjoy that film, but of course you go from the original with Romero's movies were great as well. But The Walking Dead just really hits you with that impact, and it really has been entertaining. I've loved every step of the way of the comic and the television show. Season 6 is off to such a great start. The Morgan episode, not too much, but it is off to a great start. So that's basically why I love The Walking Dead. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts on why you love The Walking Dead as well. Comment below. And don't forget to subscribe. Would really appreciate it. If you're a Walking Dead fan, you would subscribe and, well, like the video if you like it. And like I said, comment below. Until next time, guys, until we talk more, The Walking Dead. I'm Dan Manny K. Danielson. I'm out.